In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing the usefulness of modular level design and 3D modeling, and also some tricks of how to set up a level in Unreal Engine using the tools available for modular design. So I've just made a quick preview, like sort of quick level, with a corridor, another corridor that leads to a big room. So you can see here it leads around, and it's got a big room here. So the usefulness of modular 3D modeling and then modular level design is if you 3D model this entire thing as it is, just as a whole, if let's say the project lead or you decide that maybe this room's too big or it's too small, or you want to change the corridor layout, or maybe players aren't using this corridor, so you want to make like some rubble that blocks off here, anything that you want to change, if you model that all by yourself, you'd have to redo the model, redo the UVs, texture it, and then re-import it into Unreal, and it gets a bit cumbersome. So what I'll be showing is the usefulness of modular level design, and a couple of tricks on how to make it so it's nice and neat. So let's say, for instance, we wanted to get rid of this corridor. So we could select the parts that we have. So each of these parts, so each wall is kind of its own bit. So I think the units are 500 in length and 300 in height. So we can just start deleting these. And then we've got rid of that corridor. But here we've got doorways, which we obviously don't want anymore. So we can just get that. So because we know that the length of this wall is 500, we can start to use the snapping tools. So by default it's on 10, so if we do that, we can sort of guess, and that looks sensibly like it's fitting in as it should. But what's useful is, because we know it's 500, there's a 500 snapping unit. So we can then do that, and then it snaps perfectly each 500 units. So this is where we can have it where we know for definite nothing's out of place, everywhere's as it should be on the 500 unit. If you've got anything less, so maybe it's 400 units, then you'd want to go to 100. If it's a weird number where it's not really like any of these, then you probably will need to use either take snapping off by clicking the grid there, and then snapping's taken off, so we move that freely. Or you may want to redo that model so it's in a sensible dimension. So usually with modular you have it as very specific numbers, so 500 is a typical one, 300, 400, just whole numbers usually. So we've got rid of that corridor there, and then we can play it again, and now that layout's changed. And then what's also good is if we then want to add more corridors, we just do that, start to increase that. Then we can start playing around with different things, like if we want to add collectibles, maybe we can add like little side rooms. And then if you have blueprints set up of like locked doors, you can start to place them around and start replacing things. And it's a very quick way to get a level design, try out different level designs, see what the player engagement's like on each of those, and just to get it done really quickly.